So, Doctor Doom has had this crew for Avengers Doomsday, and there's been a big question on who they are and what they will be doing. Now, I'm going to cut it short for you. I'm going to show them on screen right here. Boom. Yeah, these people, I think it's the internet conception of that. The dude is Doctor Strange. The purple lady is Clea. The green lady is Sylvie. And the yellowish-orange lady is probably Scarlet Witch. Has been pretty clear. But I'm going to talk about why and what they may be doing and why they would work for Doom and who are they representing in a comic format or what are they replacing, Okay, let's just start off with Doctor Strange because this is probably the obvious answer. Why is he working for Doctor Doom? He's an Avenger. Why is he working for the guy fighting the Avengers? The answer is either one of two. The first one is that the, third eye that he got has corrupted him and now he's become evil. Which I guess would make sense because the other third eye Doctor Strange was evil. But who's to say? And then the second one, which I think is more is just that Strange agrees with Doom. I think it's so incredibly simple in that aspect. Doom is not causing the incursions. If anyone thinks that, Doom does not cause kinda, but in the comics, he wants to stop the incursions. That's his whole goal. The reason why he rebuilds the multiverse is because the incursions kind of cooked everything. He wanted to save the multiverse. The reason why he's more of the villain is just that he did it through villainous means. So Doctor Doom and Strange would probably just agree that, we need to preserve the universe by stopping the incursions, and if that means destroying other universes, then so be it. That is probably their rationale, because that was the rationale, sort of, in the comics. I feel like that's what they're going to do, and then the Avengers are going to be like, no, you can't do that, because actually, that's what the Cabal did. They're like, no, you can't do that, you can't destroy these universes, just cuz. And it's I think that is the opposition. Now, who do I think Doctor Doom will represent? And here is a long ball, but it's really the only one, and yes, it's because he is this in the comics, is that Doctor Strange could be the Black Priestess Strange. I doubt so, because I doubt they're going to bring up Black Priestess Strange, meaning that they would have to talk about the Black Swans, meaning that they'd have to set Doctor Doom as Rabu Malal. So I don't think they're going to do that. But I do think they will take the idea that Doctor Strange, read the Blood Bible, went to the market and stuff, and then traded his soul for power in order to stop incursions. Sort of act as if he is Black Priestess Strange, just without the Black Priestess. Because in the comics, the Black Priestess were basically these white blood cells that were sent out to, save the universe. Stop incursions by destroying one universe trying to collide with another. That's essentially what they did. The Avengers didn't like that and they fought against it, and then they found Doctor Strange the leader, yada yada. So I think that is basically the role Doctor Strange will be playing. He just agrees with Doom, so he's going to work with him, and he's going to try and be kind of like Black Priestess Strange. Now, Clea is another one that's really easy to figure out why they are working with Doom. And the answer is, they're with Doctor Strange. They're both trying to stop incursions, and they're both working together. Now, who may Clea represent? No clue. Maybe the Black Swans? Maybe she's gonna be honestly, maybe her and Sylvie and Wanda. I have a different theory about Wanda. Maybe Sylvie and her are gonna be Black Swan-esque characters. I have no clue. Clea could just be her own thing, and she probably will be. She's just gonna be working with Doctor Strange. That's it. Anyways, now for Sylvie. This one, again, she could be a Black Swan-esque character. Really, I don't know who she would represent. Now, I will say, I want to talk about why she would work for Doom. Because I feel half of it is in character with her, and half of it is, out of character with her. Which is why, even above Wanda, I debate whether or not this will be Sylvie or Doctor Doom. Another one that I thought of is maybe, it'll be Death. But, that wouldn't make sense because Death wants death. And the destruction in the multiverse is just more death. So Doctor Doom saving the multiverse is the opposite of death. Why would she work with the guy trying to stop death when she is death? That's what I was thinking. But anyways, why I don't know about Sylvie is, yes, she is, yes, she wants to save the multiverse. That was her whole thing in the Loki series is to destroy the sacred timeline, to make sure that people have a choice. They have their own free will to live their life that they want to do, not some forced path by Kang. That was kind of her whole thing. That's her whole shtick, to live in a world with free will. And also, yes, to save the multiverse and not just keep the sacred timeline. So in that way, it does make sense that she would work with Doctor Doom. But in other ways, I don't know. Doctor Doom is a dictator. Even before he becomes God Emperor Doom, he's a dictator of Latveria. And he wants to control the multiverse at being God Emperor Doom. He treats himself as if he were God. And I don't know if Sylvie would like that because, again, she's against He Who Remains. And his point was, putting everything via his will, not free will. He controlled everything. So I don't know in that side of things. Maybe I'm a bit wrong on this, but I feel like half of Sylvie, I see why she would work for Doom, to preserve multiverse, preserve people's own will. But then the other half is just, I don't know. Also, I feel like this Sylvie would more in line with this TVA, the Loki style of TVA instead of the previous style. I feel like she would in line with that. And seemingly Doctor Doom is going to be in opposition to them. I don't see her working against Loki or working against even Mobius and B-15. But hey, maybe I'm just wrong about that. Also, actually, yeah, speaking of Loki, if Doctor Doom really is trying to steal Loki's power for himself, maybe she just doesn't know about it, which is definitely a possibility. But if she does, I definitely don't see that being a thing of why Sylvie would work for him. So yeah, that's just my spitballing of, I don't know how I feel about Sylvie. I feel like half of it is yeah, that makes sense, and half of it is no bueno. Anyways, next is, of course, Wanda Maximoff. I did make a theory on short about this, but I believe that Wanda is going to work with Doctor Doom because she has no memories. Also, yes, I do think it's Wanda. I don't know who else it could be. Peggy Carter. Cersei? Yeah, I'm kind of run dry. I don't know who it could be. Because these are definitely all characters we know. I doubt they're all just random nobodies. I mean, they could be, but I feel like they are characters we know. And Wanda is the one that makes the most sense, in my opinion. But hey, who knows? Anyways, I do believe that Wanda will have her memory gone via the events of Multiverse Madness because it's been leaked that Avengers Doomsday will adapt Children's Crusade, which was a comic run where essentially after House of M, which WandaVision and Multiverse Madness is closer to House of M, Wanda, wherever getting. And basically after House of M, Wanda is in this amnesiac state, and Doom is trying to, take control of her to get her power of the Life Force. Although it's later retconned that the Life Force was her power and that she wasn't tapping into the Life Force, meaning that Wanda could theoretically just recreate House of M again. Comic power scaling is a bit random, but that's besides the point. He wanted to steal Wanda's power, or Wanda's ability to tap into the Life Force, technically. Anyways, what happened, though, with that is the Young Avengers tried to stop it. I'm going to bring back the Young Avengers tried to stop that and show you later when I talk about Secret Wars. But I think that will be the basis of Wanda's character in this movie. She has lost her memory. Now, who will she be representing? And it's Molecule Man Owen Reese. Why? Well, because we definitely need Molecule Man. Molecule Man is a huge part of the comics because he's the reason for the incursions. Basically, Molecule Mans are a universal bomb set up by these beings called the Beyonders, the creator of the incursions. And when a Molecule Man dies, their universe goes out with them. Sort of like the idea of anchor beams, just a lot quicker. Instead of the universe slowly decaying, it just blows up. Because Molecule Man is a bomb. Right? So, Molecule Man and Doctor Doom are working together, and also that is how Doctor Doom defeats the Beyonders. He just uses a bunch of Molecule Men. And that is the part that I think Wanda may adapt. Again, I'm sort of breaking it down. But Multi-Man is very important in this story. He also is the one who holds God Emperor Doom's power. Anyways, so Wanda, I believe, is going to be the carrier of things. Now, I don't know how Wanda is going to beat who I think is going to replace the Beyonders in this film as like God of Time Loki, God of Stories Loki, whatever. End of Season 2 Loki. That's who is replacing the Beyonders. That's who Doom wants in power. And he's going to use Wanda as that sort of middleman, like the Multi-Man Owen Reese, between the Beyonders and Doctor Doom. Wanda is going to be the middleman who connects the power between them. As, in the comics, Doom couldn't handle the power of these gods, of these omnipotent gods, essentially. So he needed Multi-Man Owen Reese to be the connector. While in the MCU, I believe Doctor Doom can't handle the power of Loki, who literally holds the multiverse together. So he needs Wanda to be the conduit between both of them. And Wanda gives him a portion of the power, so, Doom doesn't just die, right? Anyways, so what Wanda is going to do from then is hold his power. Now, I don't know how Wanda would beat Loki. I don't know how that happened. I mean, Wanda's powerful. Again, they said she could destroy a universe, enslave the multiverse, all that jazz. But I don't know I don't know how Wanda would beat Loki, but up for interpretation, I guess. Anyways, let's think. So, in the comics, Owen Reese has the control of Doom's power. He just gives it to Doom because he, I guess, trusts him. I don't know. He can take it away at any moment. That's what happens. And I think that's where Children Crusade comes in. The Young Avengers, which were also leaked in like some concept art for Secret Wars, are probably going to show up in this movie, assembled by Star-Lord, because the legendary Star-Lord will return, right? Anyways, the Young Avengers are going to be in this movie, and then they go, and they're the way to defeat Doom, as they go to Wanda and say, especially more particularly Wicked, Billy and Tommy, her kids, are going to be like, hey, get your memory back and fight against Doom. A bit more complicated than that. But get Wanda's memory back, jog her memory, to take away when, God Emperor Doom and Reed Richards are fighting, to take away Doom's power, give it to Reed, and then boom, Doom's done. And then Wanda, Reed, and Franklin Richards all recreate the multiverse, just as what happened in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars 2015. Now, I know it's not that grand of a theory. It is literally just taking two comic runs, putting them together, and two comic runs are confirmed to be adapted in this story. So, it's not crazy to say, but yeah, that's my theory on who will be these people, why are they working with them, and who will they sort of be adapting. Anyways, hope you enjoyed it.